know what killed my beans. They came and examined the soil with chemicals. They took microscopes and looked for bugs, blight, and disease. But all five went away not knowing what killed those beans. The trouble was that she had right-handed men, and they wound up all those beans from right to left. You can't do that and keep them alive. As I said, they will die on the third day. Some boys down in southern Missouri heard me tell that in high school, and they went home and told their mother, and she said, he may know something about the Bible, he may know something about medicine, but he doesn't know anything about beans. I have some bean vines, and I'll prove it. So she unwrapped 3 in her backyard. On Thursday night, she came to church where I was preaching and publicly confessed that she was off. Those vines all died on the third day. One Monday, while speaking out in Los Angeles on Miracles in Nature, I mentioned this thing. I received a letter from a woman down near San Diego who said, Dr. Wilson, you're as crazy as can be. I have a bean vine in my backyard growing up from right to left. Well, I learned long ago not to argue with a woman. I just wrote to her. Now, then these beans develop, please send me some of them. And a few weeks later, I got a letter from her saying, I'm sorry, but my beans grew to be peas. Dandelions. Now, can't keep a good dandelion down. If the grass is 2 inches high, the dandelion comes up 3. If the grass is 5 inches high, the dandelion comes up 6. If the grass is 10 inches high, the dandelion comes up 11. One day, one of my daughters brought me a dandelion 15 inches long and said, Dad, I got the yardstick and measured the grass. It was 14 inches high. Now, what makes a dandelion do that fool thing? It never gets down under the circumstances. Now, don't ask me how. I don't know. Once, when I was speaking in a high school in Parsons, Missouri, the principal took me in to address the boys and girls, about 1,200 of them, and then left me to go over to speak to a teacher. While he was gone, a senior boy came up and said, Are you the guy who is to preach this morning? I said, No, sir. I graduated from being a guy some time ago, and I have better sense than to preach in a school. Why do you ask? Well, I don't believe that what you preachers put out, he answered. I said, Thank you for the information. Now tell me what you do believe. I am far more interested in what you do believe than in what you don't. I don't believe anything I can't understand, said he. Just then the principal came and took me up on the platform. I said to him, Would you mind if I interrogate one of the senior boys? No, he said, help yourself. This boy was sitting on the front seat beside his red-headed sweetheart, and I said to the audience, You young people have a notable person in your midst. He's going to make his mark in the world, for he believed nothing he can't understand. The principal said I might ask him a few questions. I said, Lad, tell me, how is it that a black cow eats green grass that makes white milk that churns yellow butter and made red hair on your sweetheart? He didn't answer. Tell me, why does it a man blows his hands to warm them and blows his coffee to cool it? He didn't answer. Tell me, how come we turn the electricity into one contraption to burn the bread and into another to make ice? Yeah. By this time, the rest of the crowd were giving him raspberries, so he went out the door. He wouldn't stay and face it. We don't understand things. We live by faith. Everything you eat goes into your stomach digests it, but it doesn't digest itself. Why doesn't the stomach digest itself when it is made of the same stuff as the stuff you eat? Don't ask me. Bananas. Every bunch of banana has 24 bananas on the bottom row if it is a complete bunch. Then there is one less on each row as you go up. They call them hands, and as some of you must know. But on each row or each hand of bananas, there's one fewer than there was on the previous one. It starts with 24. One day I was addressing the Rotary Club, and when I mentioned this, I saw all the fellows looking around at a man at a distant table to my right. I said to the president of the club, Who is the friend attracting attention? He's a wholesale banana merchant. So I looked at this merchant and asked, Say, brother, did I tell the truth to these men? He said, I've handled them only 31 years. I don't know. I haven't had time to count them. I said, Do you have any on hand? Yes, I have 100 bunches. I wish you would count some of them and call me up and let me know whether I am right or wrong. He called me at 4 p.m. I counted 35 bunches, and every one had 24 bananas on the bottom row. I never knew that before. God doesn't do things carelessly. That's the reason he asked you to give your life to him, so he can make it what he wants it to be. Everything in nature but man follows out God's law. we think we can get along without God. We can't if we are to live the life He wants us to have or that we want to have.